I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Hunter, and this is the Family Showdown!
There we go.
How about now? Can you hear me?
I don't know why it resets that setting.
It resets
every single time
Yeah.
I reset the computer.
Well, somebody should put a note and say, "Hey, I should check the sound."
I checked part of the sound.
Oh, good. How's it going, guys? I'll try that again. Hello. Hello.
All right. We're kind of still in recovery mode from the convention.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah. You're in summer mode. I work today.
Summer mode. Yeah.
All right, folks. So tonight we're mostly, in fact, almost fully talking about Board Game Geek Spring and all the games we played.
Yo, because Board Game Geek Spring is an awesome convention.
I played 23 games. Rebecca played 26 games. So, we got a lot to talk about. Lots to talk about.
We do.
So, for those who don't know, Board Game Geek Spring is... so, Board Game Geek Con, the Board Game Geek website, has a convention every year they hold in the fall. It's currently in the Hyatt...
Regency.
No, I'm talking about the big one.
Oh.
Can't think of the name of it. So it's in the Reunion Tower Hotel in Dallas.
Yeah.
They I want to say 5-6 years ago, they started holding a family. They used to call it BGG Family in the spring over Memorial Day weekend, Memorial Day for the U.S. weekend, and it was a family-oriented convention, kind of a smaller convention. Lots of family vendors brought there a lot of family games, a lot of family-oriented stuff. It's kind of slowly kind of shifted away from that. Now they call it, the last few years they've called it Board Game Geek Spring. It's still for kids. It's still kids are allowed to attend. And the one in the fall, I think you have to be 16 to attend. You can't even get in.
Yeah.
You can't even get a badge unless you're 16. So they still allow kids in, but they have a curfew. They have quiet areas. It's moving away from that family oriented. It has
Do you think so?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, they have the 16 and plus area, and they have a curfew, but it seemed like kids.
Yeah, but I didn't see a lot of straight kids vendors there like they usually have.
But their vendors seem smaller than.
But anyway, I personally feel they're starting to move away from that. It seems like it's just a smaller version of the fall to me. Me personally, that's how it feels.
I don't know. I saw a lot of kids playing games though.
There are still kids there, yes, but 90% of the convention is adults playing, strategy games and a lot of the kids stuff. Maybe we're not just seeing it as much because we don't have as young kids as we used to.
I was gonna say.
But that said, this year they had 1,900 people, and personally, it felt too big. It felt too big for me.
It was big. Yeah.
It felt too big. It felt too crowded. It felt too much for what it originally was. Maybe that's why I'm getting this feeling it's moving away from family, because it seemed like in the past you could find a table, you could do stuff with your kids. It wasn't as loud. It wasn't as overwhelming as it was. If you roll into this convention as a non-board gaming family, you're going to be blown completely away.
Oh, yeah.
It's not... It seemed like in the past they kind of catered to families. They used to have like in the library, they had whole sections of kids games out for display.
That's true. You're right.
It just seems like it's just the fall con in the spring that's half the size is what it feels like to me.
That's true. I didn't even think about that.
There were complaints. I went online to look. There was people complaining about the lack of gaming space. If you did,
it was crazy.
The main convention hall was packed full. By about 10 o'clock, you couldn't find the table. There were sections of tables we didn't know about that we could have found tables at. They apparently had people going around looking for tables, but it was a lot of people complain that you pick up a game and then you're on table search at that point. Where do I go to find a table to play this game?
Where were these mystery tables at?
There's a whole in the first floor. There's a whole boardroom, a whole ballroom size area full of tables that we could have used that I didn't even know about.
I didn't know what.
Yeah.
Okay, they needed to put a sign or something.
So anyway,
that's crazy.
So anyway, that said, it still is an amazing convention.
No,
it's more.
It's much more chill.
It's a little more chill. It's I still think it doesn't have as much vendors. It seems like it's almost more about trying new games, families getting there playing games, that sort of thing. But lots of people, 1,900 people. It's not a small convention anymore. It used to be much smaller than it was. My gut says, unless they have some kind of lease with the space, I think this was going to keep growing, and they're going to eventually move it to the other place. And
I hope they
and they're going to
do.
have, and they're going to have 2 big conventions a year.
Well, maybe that could be.
But my gut says they signed a long-term lease with them for the fall convention, and they're able to keep that going by having the spring convention. But I bet that lease is going to run out at some point.
Maybe.
I bet they'll be doing it at the other place. But that said, we had an amazing time. It was fun. There was lots to do.
Oh, there's always. I mean, their library is ridiculous. It's just ginormous. It's huge. And tons of games, like a lot of old games. You can dig around and find some like real gems that you can't really find anywhere else to play. And they have the Spiel games, which we'll talk about, which is really cool because they just announced these things, and then boom, right here at the.
They announced them last Monday, and they had them there.
So that's cool.
And a member of the committee came over to teach and things like that.
They were super nice too.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
Or jury, I guess they call them a jury, don't call them a committee. But anyway, so there you go. That's Board Game Geek Spring. It's one to go to, I guess, because if you have family, because kids are allowed to be there and stuff like that. But it's not a 200-person local convention feel. It is a massive,
it feels
big. It's a big convention. It is big. All right. So we're gonna go into the games we played. That's probably about all we're gonna cover tonight because there's a lot. Because like I said, I played 23 and Rebecca played 26. There's a lot of games to talk about. I'm going to do the Spiel games separately, kind of as their own thing, and then I'm going to rank all the other games I played, and then Rebecca will talk about the 3 she played that I did not play. So I'll still give these rankings, except for the kids' games. I'm not going to rank the kids' games. You got to rate the kids' games. So let's jump in to...
Let's go.
To, where is it?
What do we do? What do we do?
All right, so we're going to jump right in and talk about the kids' Spiel games first. Get the right place.
Oh, you're right, Gardner. Yeah, like when Dice Tower Cruise was able to start playing in the dining room, that was nice. Yeah, it opens up like a whole area. That's so true. It's very true. Same kind of issue. For sure.
The kids' games. So here they are, the 3 kids' games. All right, in the order I like them the most, least to most, as usual. I go worst to best or least to most, however you want to look at it. Carla Caramel. This one is a cooperative game where you're rolling dice, you're making ice cream cones, you're giving those ice cream out to kids. It is designed for like little kids, like 3-4 years old. The older kids and adults will immediately understand the strategy, and you'll always win. Unless you get just like a crazy like Las Vegas,
really unlucky.
You have to get like bad rolls, like 10 rolls in a row to lose at this game. But I think this game is more designed for the parents to facilitate, let the kids make the decision, and they figure out the strategy that was obviously intuitive to us, but might not be so intuitive to them. They kind of learn, oh, I need to do this or I need to do that to win this game. And I think, again, for little kids, I think this is a good game. Because Nessa, when she was teeny, she used a magnet with fish and had a blast. So
and this does teach a lot of really good skills. Like, if this had come out when either of the kiddos had been small, they would have eaten this up. And I love it because it really does, facilitate some good conversations and thinking and consequences and a lot of developmental stuff. And I just love that. I think it'd be a fantastic toddler, early elementary kind of.
Yeah, even I think younger than that. I think 3, 4, 5 years old.
Oh, it's a toddler. Yeah,
so little kids, this would be great for them. This one I like second best was Mysterium Kids. This is the cooperative game where you have cards that have sound effects on them, like a lightning strike or a bee buzzing or
popcorn popping.
Or popcorn popping. And you have a drum, and you basically everyone closes your eyes, and you randomly pick one of the pictures, and then you have to bang on the drum or do something to make that sound. Everyone else cooperatively decides what sound you made. So this one is again probably this is probably for a little bit older kids. We're talking probably 7, 8, 9, 10 years old.
Young kids are not gonna.
Little kids aren't gonna get the concept. Little kids won't be able to do the drumming part.
Well, they can do the drumming part, but they're not going to understand how to do half the sounds or anything,
right. So, it's okay. It's okay. It's not amazing. It's not bad. It's
more
okay.
Of an activity.
It's a game. And how's Mysterium not an activity?
Well, but it's a little bit beyond an activity, but
it's the same sort of thing.
Yeah,
you're just going through the motions. Anyway, I think if I was a little kid, I would like this game because I'm a little boy. I'd be banging on the drum.
I was gonna say you would have gotten that thing confiscated. I can already tell. If that had been in my house as a kid, Mom would have been like, "Oh wow, this drum's broken. I don't know where it went." Yeah.
So it was okay. It was just okay. And then the one that
before you get farther. So people are guessing the sound. No, not just out of the blue. So what happens is you draw out what is it?
5 cards.
5 cards, and you have them on this little mansion.
And everyone sees the cards.
We can look at the cards and stuff. We look at them and then we close our eyes. So we know it's from that pool that's on the table there. One of those sounds, and it gets more challenging because there's some that you have to do 2 in a row. So you have to figure out which 2 sounds.
Yeah, you just have a random set of discs that have the numbers of the cards, and you flip over a number. I'm going to do sound effect 3.
Yeah.
And you look at it secretly, and everyone closes your eyes. You do sound effect for 3, and everyone tries to guess which one. They guess 3, then it's right.
Then you're good. Yeah.
You get to get a treasure or whatever.
But it was just weird. The rankings. It's like if you score a certain one, they're like, "Good job, Bucko," kind of thing. And you're like. All right.
Good job, young sailor.
Oh yeah, young sailors. It was like
because you're pirates in this game. You're supposed to be pirates.
It was interesting.
And then what I thought was the best one. I think Nessa agreed.
Nessa enjoyed this one.
Nessa actually liked it. Nessa's how old is she now? 11, 12, 13, 14. I don't know what she is.
Oh my.
Out of the house soon, hopefully. Anyway, so Gigamons or however you want to say it is a memory matching game, but there's superpowers. So you try to match. There's 9 tiles face down, you flip them over. If you get 2 that match, you collect them. It's a set collection game, but they have superpowers. So you might get another turn, or you may steal a tile, or you may destroy someone's tile, and all this other stuff. And when you get a set of 3, you get the big Gigamon standee in front of you. And if someone else ends up getting 3, they steal it from you. And whoever gets 3 in front of them at once, 3 of the big Gigamons, wins the game. Or at the end, whoever has the most Gigamons wins.
I'd like to say we made that competitive for her, but I don't think we did.
No, Nessa was pretty good at that memory game. So yeah, it's a great little game for a memory matching game, and Nessa liked it, so that's saying a lot. So
nice.
All right, let's move on to the next set. Where are they? What did I do with these guys? So the middle of the spiel guys, the Game of the Year nominees. So in order of that I liked them is the least I liked was Dwarf Romantic. Dwarfs.
We always called it Romantic Dwarfs because we just.
I didn't rate the kids games.
It should have been a fantasy.
It's hard to rate kids games because then do you rate it for kids? Do you rate it for a certain age of kids? I don't know how you rate those, so I didn't rate them. But Dwarf Romantic, I give a 2. And that's being generous. I consider it a 1 for Dwarf Romantic. All it is flip tiles and match them up and see how many points you get. There's literally nothing there. If you played the app, it's probably like the app. But
see, the app I could see being an app and being a fun, chill little clicky thing that you would do. And for them to try to translate that into a board game, I think was, I don't know. It blows my mind that this is in this category at all because it felt like an epic fail. I'm like, this feels like an app that tried to translate into a board game.
So basically, you flip over 3 task tiles. The task says you need to build a railroad that's 5 tracks long, or you need to build a little city that's 4 tiles big, or you need to build a forest area that's 6 tiles big. And you get 3 tasks, and then you flip over a tile, and you place a tile. Until you complete one of the tasks. You complete some of the tasks, you put it aside, you draw a new task tile, and you keep going. It's literally, you flip over one tile, and it's almost obvious where it should go. And you place it. And the next person flips over a tile, and it's almost obvious where it goes. And you place it. And you flip over another tile.
Yeah.
And that's the entire game. You go until the tiles run out. You see how many tasks you complete. You get a certain number of points. Based on your points, you can open a box and get more tiles. And it's like a long campaign of working your way through all these boxes, but really all it's doing is giving you ways to score more points. So the next time you play, you're going to get maybe 10 more points. So maybe you'll open up another box, or maybe you won't. Maybe you'll move one step on the campaign track. It's literally nothing there. There's literally nothing there.
This one feels like, to me, this is another one that I think, like, as an app would, like, be fun and chill. Like, but like, just a little thing to do. But I don't know. As a board game, I'm like, it felt, again, kind of more like an activity.
So to give you an idea, imagine if you played Carcassonne cooperatively and there's no points. That's basically what you're doing.
I mean, some people might really get behind that, though.
Carcassonne cooperative with no points.
I mean, if you want a really chill game.
And you only have one tile to look at.
Yeah, that's true. Not a whole lot for discussion. I mean, there really isn't, because it's like, well, it's got a railroad on it. We should probably, I don't know. It's interesting. But if you want to really
it's not
chill
for me.
game,
maybe there's some people out there that maybe want a chill experience, that they want to work through this little campaign and see what's in the little boxes. Maybe they'll get something out of it. But for me, it's a 2. The only reason it wasn't a 1 is because I wasn't angry when I was done with it. That's the only reason it didn't get a 1.
You can't get angry at this game.
That's the only reason I didn't get a 1 is because I wasn't angry.
A kid's first... Yeah, actually, I think it would work as a kid's game. Honestly, Corlew, because, I mean, I don't know about through the campaign and stuff, but the base game, yeah, older kids, not little kids, but older kids could, for sure.
All right, next one up for me that I liked the next most, or the less that disliked it less, however you want to say it.
Wow, really?
Next Station, London, I give it a 5, and that's, again, being generous. I see there's a game there, but it's not for me. If you go by the BGG rankings of where it would actually fall, it'd probably be a 3 for me, because it's something I never want to play again. So, but I understand there's a game there, and people that like rolling rights or flipping rights will like this game.
I didn't think it was as bad as you, but I'm not a huge... Did you see that look? Did you see that look?
Anyway... So what Next Station London is they have a sheet of paper, or in this case they use dry erase little board things, and you're basically flipping over a card that has a symbol in it, and you're connecting little routes on a little map, and then there's 4 different colors of routes. So maybe I'm doing the blue route this time, so I do all the little flip. I'm drawing a little route. I got all these kind of different points that you get in flipping rights and rolling rights. And then you pass the pencil, and now maybe I'm doing the pink route. So now we're flipping all the cards over again, and I'm doing the pink route. And then you do another one, you do that 4 times, and you get a big in-game points for doing different things. And yeah. That's just not my kind of game, but like I said, I can see if you like rolling rights or flipping rights, you might enjoy this game. Rebecca seemed to like it okay.
It's fine. I was gonna say I'm not a huge fan of a lot of rolling rights and stuff like that, but I can see this one's got a little bit of some variation in it. It wasn't just checking boxes and stuff. There is actually some choices. Yeah, and I do like the fact that there's some choice, and kind of a chill little mini puzzle it out game. I think this one could get some going. I think it could get a follow. I think there's more there than like the clever games. For sure. I liked it a lot more. There's more going on than that. Yeah. And then next up is, for me, is Fun Facts. I give it a 6. This is the 3rd in the series of Just One, So Clover, and now Fun Facts. So what Fun Facts is the Fun Facts. Just like the other 2 games, it's a cooperative party style game. This one, you're getting a random question like, how much do you like doing dishes on a scale of 0 to 100? I guess it's not a good question. A lot of people put 0 on that. I was going to say. How much do you like doing things outdoors? Yeah. On a 0 to 100. And so whoever's first, whoever read the question, writes it on a little dry erase thing. They put it face down. And then the next person comes up and they write their answer. And then they have to do kind of like timeline. You have to pick, are they going to be lower than the person before them or after the person before them? And the next person writes their answer down, and then they put it wherever it would be in that range. Right. And you go all the way around the table back to the first person. They get one chance to move their tiles to somewhere else if they think they're out of place. And then you just flip them over, and if there's one that's not in order correctly, you kick it out, and you get points based on how many you get right. You do that 8 times, and you score and see what happens. I like it quite a bit, actually. I think it'd be the only issue I see with it, and this could be interesting to some people, maybe not, is that you can't just do a pickup game of this because it would be next to impossible to do. That's true. Almost need to know a little bit about the people around the table
to do it, or if you just laugh and go, I had no clue you were. Because I mean, if three strangers sit down,
that is going to be a hard game,
and you're saying how much they like the outdoors, you're like, you look at it and you're like,
no, I have no clue. That's very
he's
true.
wearing a sports shirt. I think. Yeah, I mean, you're literally gonna have to go off of what do you go off of? Nothing, right? So it's almost more of a game group or a family type game. I would think it worked better, unless you just want to laugh and go, I didn't know that about you because I just met you 2 minutes ago. I mean,
yeah, that would be a lot harder. But
maybe,
you're right. I think for people that at least somewhat know each other, I think
you'd have to have.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, we had a good time with it because we played with people that we know,
right?
And so, it was kind of fun guessing because, of course, this is not something that typically came up in conversations. And we're like, oh, really? That's interesting. I mean, you can guess, but it was pretty fun.
The only reason I gave it so low is because I'm not a big fan of cooperative games, and B, it has that feeling that you're going to do it a few times and then you're not going to go back to it. For me personally, it's not going to be something I would go back to. Like just one we pull out all the time as a filler. Yeah, I don't know if this one we pull out all the time. Maybe not. I don't know, but
I think we had a good solid group. I think so because it's pretty.
And there are some questions.
You guys love that wits and wagers, balancing timeline balance thing going on where you're betting where.
And I think you would depending on your group, you may need to go through the questions and ask some because there's some that. I wouldn't say they're like adult, but there's stuff like like we had to ask a bunch because Nessa was playing with us and it's like,
what do you do at your job?
How much do you like your job? So I'm like, does that count? That school? And it's like in your professional career, blah blah blah, and things. It has questions like that. How many relationships have you had that lasted longer than 6 months and junk like that? Stuff you'd have to pull some of that out depending on who you're playing with. Or you can just ask them and like we just read it. I just read it and we would toss them aside if they didn't apply for our group.
Yeah, I was like,
But it's okay. It's okay little game. I think of the three, I like it the least. Between just one and So Clover and this one, I like this one the least of the three. But
interesting.
But it's a 6, which means I'd play it if someone wanted to play it. I probably wouldn't suggest playing it. So there you go.
Yeah, it might be like, if you know your coworkers or something, Corlo, you're right. And yeah, Robert, you're correct too. Dwarf Romantic is one of those, right? Steam, that would be kind of fun, but as a board game, it's like, yeah, I get that for sure.
All right. Let's move on to the heavier games. I wouldn't say they're heavy games. The heavier games.
Are they though?
We technically didn't play Planet Unknown, but we played it before. So we didn't play that one. And Icky, just for what is it? Full disclosure, we played about a third of a game because we had this great plan of playing it Sunday when they were getting ready to shut down, and everyone else seemed to have that same plan. So we got it right before they took the spill games away.
But we got a full round and a little bit more.
We got a third of the game. We went through 6 rounds.
Oh yeah, we did. Gosh.
Or six-ish or something like that. Yeah. 6 rounds. So we got a pretty good taste of the game. The rest of the game is going to be, it's an engine builder. So it's more of the same. You're just doing more because you got, obviously, it's an engine building. So you have more resources, more things. You'll be able to accomplish more. Right. But it's kind of, you're doing the same thing throughout the game. So that said, my least favorite of the 3 was Challengers, but I still enjoyed it quite a bit. I thought I was going to despise this game. I read the rules, I watched it play, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to hate this game. But I actually enjoyed myself.
Okay, that game.
So I give it a 7, which means it's good.
I don't remember who in our group said this is more fun than it should be.
Tommy
was saying that. This is more fun than it should be allowed to be. It is stupid fun. It was one of those that honestly, this would be a good one to throw down with like families or groups and board game clubs and stuff.
So what this game is, it's capture the flag. It's a simple little deck building game. You're building a deck, and you basically shuffle up, and you have someone set across the view, and you're just flipping cards and see what happens. But you have cards that
have superpowers.
The cards that combo off each other and things like that, and they have ways to get your opponent to discard cards or do different things. So. And it's a deck building, so after each little match, you get to get more cards. It's kind of like, in a way, it's kind of like, what's that baseball game? Baseball highlights, whatever the number is,
2045?
Whatever the number is. It's kind of like that. You do a competition, you get some more players, and you can deck build with it. So you play 7 matches, and over the course of those 7 matches, you're adding and subtracting to your deck.
Right.
And at the end, the 2 best players fight off in a big final thing. So it's a goofy little game. It's super random. There is some strategy building your deck. Right. But I enjoyed myself. I had fun with it. It seemed like it'd be a great convention game. It'd be a great game group game.
It's one of those that it hits on all those levels.
So it's just a goofy little game, and I enjoyed myself. So I gave it a 7.
Trogdor, you're totally right. Magical Athlete has that same kind of vibe. You're like, what? what is this?
Yeah.
What
But
is this?
It's more fun
And then
than
you
it
have
should
a
be.
blast, and you're like, why? This should not work. But it does, and it's just... Challengers was that.
All right, and then the one I like the second best was Planet Unknown. I give it an 8. The Planet Unknown and Icky are really close. Depending on my day of the week, either one would be the one I like the best. I give them both 8s. Planet Unknown is a polyomino game where you're drafting tiles, you're placing them out on a board, you're going up these different tracks, and you're trying to fill up the board as best you can, but there's lots of rules on placement and moving up tracks, and the tracks give you bonuses. So it's a Euro-y, kind of a mid-weight Euro polyomino game.
Yep.
So I enjoyed that one quite a bit.
With a lazy Susan.
We own it, so we didn't get that one played, but I'm talking about it because we played it before.
We have played it before.
And Icky, like I said, we only played a third of a game, and I'm basing off of that. I enjoyed myself quite a bit. Me and Rebecca talked about it's not one necessarily we want to own, but if anyone wanted to ever play it, we would love to play it. It's a rondelle game, action selection game, so you have a little pawn that's kind of going around this market area, collecting resources and taking actions, and there's some set collection, or you're building buildings that give you a bunch of points. It's there's markets that you can visit and get bonuses, and players own the market, so the markets improve for them over time. They retire eventually, and you get like a superpower, like a power you get for the rest of the game potentially, and it's a cool little game. It's kind of it looks a lot heavier than it is once you get going.
It does.
I'm kind of we didn't really experience it much, but the whole fire thing, every 3 times during the game there's going to be a fire, and your markets could burn down. But there's ways to mitigate that potentially, or you can just kind of
let it burn so you
can
get your meeples back.
or you can press your luck and just hope it doesn't hit you, because there's 4 quadrants of the board
totally my
that
strategy.
can have a fire, and maybe yours won't get hit. So there you go. But Rebecca, obviously, we were playing a third of the game, so we really didn't dig too much into the strategy, and all Rebecca's markets burned down.
But then I got all my meeples back because I was overtaxed, and I was like,
So there you go. That is
we will rebuild.
That's all of the Spiel games. If I was going to order them, it would be Icky, Planet Unknown, Challengers, Fun Facts, Next Station London, and Dwarf Romantique at the very bottom. And then the kids' game not ranked.
Yeah.
But I would put Dwarf Romantique under all the kids' games, probably. That's how bad it is. Anyway.
Wow.
So that's it for the Spiel games. Now we're off to the games that we played outside the Spiel games. And a handful of these, about 4 of them, I'm not going to necessarily, I'll kind of point them out as they come up. 4 of them we played before the convention.
So
okay. we actually got some games in before we went off to the convention.
Amazing.
So starting at number 14, I always go from lowest to highest. Starting at number 14, we have Jam Sumo.
Oh yeah, I didn't play this one.
So I played this with Nessa. We played this. It's becoming a tradition of her and me facing off in Jam Sumo. So this is a dexterity game. It's kind of, if you play tumbling dice, it kind of got the same feel. You basically have all these dice that are your sumo wrestlers, and you flick them off of kind of a ledge off on the side of the board. And you're trying to shoot them in a hole in the middle, kind of like crokinole-ish.
Yeah.
And you can bump the other players, you can knock them off the board, and all that kind of stuff. But the goal is to get all your dice in the hole in the middle. If you do that, then the player gets penalty points equal to the value of all the dice that they have left. And Nessa schooled me at this. Well,
really?
She didn't school me. I won 1 round. She won 1 round. You do 2 rounds, and I happen to have more dice value left over than she did.
Wow.
So it's a close little match.
Fight.
It's like a tradition that we do that every year. And I give it a 5 just because it's not much of a game there. It's just kind of something to do. Something to do.
Tradition.
It's kind of a tradition. She likes it, so I play it.
Yeah.
That's the way I roll. All right, let's move on. My number 13, another tradition every year. We play some Way Kick. Even though we own it, we still have to play it, apparently, at the convention. And I was annihilating little Nessa, destroying her 7-3. I was up 7-3, the first one to 10. She came back and beat me with some tricksy maneuvers.
Never celebrate early.
I did. I was dancing, celebrating. I thought, I got this. She came back and stomped me. So,
there you go.
Way Kick, I give it a 7. It's a fun little game. This one feels like there's more there than Jam Sumo, because there's it's more active than just flicking the die. There's more going on. So.
We name our soccer players and the whole works, man.
So.
There's always the good players and the bad players. Trading them out.
What's that?
We always name the players.
I also said I celebrated early in Challengers, too. I kind of did.
You did.
I was
You
undefeated.
did.
I was
You did.
undefeated
You were
for the
talking a lot
first
of
5 rounds,
See,
and I lost the last 2.
Never celebrate early. I'm telling you.
I did celebrate early in challengers. Way kick. I give it a
Never
7.
learns.
That's my 13th best game that I played.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on to number 12. Where's 12? This one.
Which
one? Right here.
Which one?
Splendor Duel.
It's low, huh?
Splendor Duel. Yeah, it's Splendor. I give it a 7 as well. I enjoyed this one quite a bit. I actually like this better than Splendor. I give Splendor a 7. This is a 7.1. If you
wow, he's bringing out the decimals.
7.1 maybe.
Okay.
Slightly better than Splendor. So Splendor Duel is basically Splendor for 2 players, obviously duel. And it just has a weird way to draft your chips. If you played Splendor, you're drafting these chips. You use these chips to buy cards. The cards are kind of engine building that make you need less chips for future cards. It has an interesting little board mechanism thing for chip drafting, and there's a little kind of a game of chicken, because after you take a bunch of chips, they actually come out of a bag and you refill it, so you basically lose a turn effectively doing that.
Yeah.
And the other person gets like a little bonus for doing that. It's Splendor Plus for 2 players. I like it slightly more. If I'm playing 2 players, this is how I'd want to play Splendor. Yeah.
That's fair.
Without a doubt. So it's a good one. I don't know if it warrants all the craziness, but if you like Splendor and you want a better version of Splendor for 2 players, it's worth getting.
Absolutely.
All right, moving on. Let's move on to my number 11. I find the button. Hold on. I want to do this really fast. Buttons all over the place. Planted. Give this a 7 as well. Rebecca, I think, liked it a lot more than I did. This is a Target exclusive. I don't know if it's Target exclusive anymore. I think Amazon has it now.
Oh, okay.
It's $30 and it looks like a $60 board game. So.
Oh my gosh, the components to this were gorgeous.
Yeah, it looks like a $60
I thought they
Kickstarter.
blinged it up. I really did. I thought they had blinged up the game.
It looks like a $60 Kickstarter. I think we lagged there a little bit. Maybe it's just us. It's like a $60. This is like a $60 Kickstarter deluxe version of the game, and that's the regular version.
Like the components, like for the water is like a teardrop, and it's like yay big, and it's actually shaped like a.
Corlew, sneak across the border and hit a target and take it home with you.
There you go. Sneak across the border. Then she gets busted, and they're like, "What are you here for? Board games?"
Sneak across the border and grab it at Target. All right, so playing it, it's a super light.
I loved it.
Super light. What I want to say, it is.
It's
I don't
like
even know.
herbaceous.
Resource management, I guess.
Yeah, it's very similar to the whole herbaceous and floriferous line and everything.
But herbaceous, you don't pay resources to get stuff. You just draft it.
No, you just draft it. No, yeah, no. It just has the same feel. It has about the same weight. It's nature. It's plants, and it feels like it's a good
resource. It's contract fulfillment, resource management is what it is.
Yeah.
It makes it sound a lot complicated, more complicated
It's more complicated to say than what it is.
Yeah, you're just collecting all these resources, you're filling these, you're feeding your plants, and they grow and you get points.
And it's another pretty game.
And it's Phil Walker Harding.
Praise be.
So that's my number 11, Planted. I mostly played that for Rebecca. I figured she'd like it, and she did.
I did, quite a bit.
All right, let's move on to probably my biggest disappointment of the convention. Besides not finding a table.
Oh.
That is Woodcraft.
Oh,
Woodcraft. This is my number 10 best game, and I rated a 7. I thought I was going to love this game, but this is mostly on me that I don't like it. It's one of those games where you have upkeep that you have to do every round. You have to do this thing every round that you have to do. That's one of the phases, and if you're not paying attention, you miss it every time. So basically, in Planted, you are making different pieces, sizes of wood. It's a lot like Planted in a way that you're collecting these resources and you're fulfilling contracts. It's through dice. So basically, you have different color dice that are different kinds of wood. A contract might need a green dice with a 3, a yellow dice with a 2, and a couple of brown dice with a 4, or whatever. So you can, there's ways to do that. You can glue pieces together. You can saw pieces in chunks. There's different actions to do that. But the main thing is you can grow pieces. So basically you plant trees and you grow them. But each round, at the start of the round, you're supposed to increase the value of your trees.
Yeah.
And invariably, like 50% of the time, we're like,
we forgot.
Did I grow my plants? I don't remember. Did I do that? I think I did. I think I missed growing my plants. Did I grow my plants? And then you go 2 rounds, you're like, I haven't grown my plants for 2 rounds.
Yeah. You're like, why are they?
So I need a little bell or something, a little ding The ding, grow your plants.
Just
Something.
a flick.
Something to flick.
Grow your plants.
Yeah. Do I have the same problem in viticulture? No, because it's on the board. It specifically shows on the board that you're supposed to increase your grapes.
Now they did have.
They had this weird hieroglyphic.
They were hieroglyphic, yeah.
Things to tell you what you should do.
There was a non-language based. It was all pictorial, like term thing, but I didn't get. I totally ignored it because I didn't get what they were going for.
It was
with
very.
pictures. I knew how to play the game.
Stylized hieroglyphic symbology
like,
for what you should do on
I
your
don't
turn.
know.
It's on me. That's an on me thing. I'm very horrible at that.
Well, I can be too, but it just seemed maybe it was just the weird time of day for us to play it or something. But it just seemed fiddly, which stinks because I really liked the build up and the puzzly.
The gameplay, the gameplay was I don't know. It was there. It didn't really. I didn't feel like I was like, oh, I did this cool thing.
Yeah, that's true.
I never felt that way.
You don't really have anything to show for it.
But then the bookend, the growing your plants phase. Is at the end of the round you can buy points. So first part of the round, the first thing you do is grow your plants. The last thing you do is buy a point. Rebecca went like 5 rounds and like, I haven't bought any points.
I totally forgot. I mean,
so I don't know if we were just tired or what, but we are not. I guess maybe if we own this game, if we had this game, we're not going to own it now, but because we played it. But if we own this game, I literally would build a flow chart of and set it out in big letters
of like the
grow your plants, do your actions, blah blah blah, buy points, and I literally have a pawn that you move along so that you don't mix it. I for whatever reason it was horrible, and growing those plants are so important.
They're very important. That's your engine.
Yeah, that's one of the main sources of your wood, and if you miss it, you're like.
The blueberry currency was cute. I felt like I was playing like something in the Tinkerbell universe or something though. Like
I think this is a game that a lot of people love.
It
was just frustrating for us for whatever reason because
it was just fiddly.
We just couldn't. The upkeep thing just didn't work for us for some reason. All right, but let's move on. My number 9. Oh, it's one we actually. So this is one that we played before the convention. We finally got the Asia version of Wingspan played, the new Wingspan expansion played. We're up into the 8s now, so I give this one an 8. This is the first of the 8s. The Asia expansion gives you another way to play solo and a way to play 2 players as well. And we played the 2-player version.
Loved it. I like it.
She liked it quite a bit. I thought it was just another way to play. It didn't really go. Oh, this is so much better to play.
No. I don't think that. I liked it. I liked playing it.
So what it adds is there's a little map, I guess, for lack of a better word, a little map, and each time you do something, I can't remember what activates it. Playing it, putting a bird on your board, I think it is. Yeah, when you put a bird on your board, you get a little yin yang, a black or white little symbol. And you put it on this map, and basically you have to meet the qualifications of placing it on their map. And you get bonuses, and there's a whole game in itself of how you place those tokens on the map.
Yes, I do like the 2-player version over the base for what he's describing, because now we have a little bit more game going on while you're building up your birds.
There's a little almost a mini game that's added on top of the regular game.
It's really fun. I really enjoyed that part of it, and an added benefit that, of course, you guys are probably going to be like, oh, she cheesed out on this. But the app that comes with this game works with these birds, too.
It doesn't come with the game. It's separate.
Well,
Wing Song.
It's Wing Song, but, I mean, you can't use the app without having the game.
Right.
But, so you can scan the cards, and most of them, it'll do the bird songs for. Some are, I found out, this is kind of interesting, I found out that some of them are, like, endangered birds, and they don't put the bird calls on there because they're like severely endangered or something.
Yeah,
so
basically there's certain birds that are so endangered that their areas are so protected that if you somehow got the recording of their sound, you're basically illegally trespassing on their territory.
Yeah, I was like,
so it's really weird.
Yeah, that was kind of funky.
But
I'm sure there's international law and all sorts of weirdness going on.
If you pin me down, I would say I like the 2-player version slightly more than the regular 2-player. Slightly.
Because there's more game stuff. Yeah.
Slightly more than the regular. But it's good. I like Wingspan.
Yeah, the complexity, it might be one of those that start somebody else like out with the base game, see how they do with that, and then maybe add it on afterwards and see.
It's a whole nother
I don't think
level.
I would dive. Yeah, I wouldn't dive in with this.
It's a whole nother
for sure
mini game, and a whole nother little set of rules you have to teach.
Yeah.
A whole nother set of achievements you can get. All that kind of stuff going on.
Yeah, so it's like maybe if she's someone that plays the game a lot and really loves that game a lot, she might be able to add it on. But yeah, I don't know. That's one of those you'd have to feel out for sure.
All right. That is Wingspan Asia expansion. So let's move on to my number 8. This is another one we played pre-convention. We finally got back around to playing Taiwan Tensuyu. It's one of the T-Series games, Incan Empire themed-ish game. And I was playing it, I enjoyed it, I give it an 8. But it has cemented itself as my least favorite of the T games we own. We've gotten rid of a couple of T games that we didn't like as much. But of the 5 we own, I think we own 5. 6. We own 6. This is my least favorite of the 6. But it still gets an 8, so that tells you how much I love these games. This one, it just, I don't know.
Yes, this one has potatoes.
It has potatoes and corn.
Potatoes and corn.
So basically, you are placing meeples on the board, and you get kind of actions or resources based on how you place them and their proximity to other meeples. It's got engine building, resource management, all kinds of stuff going on in it, like all these games do. This one just doesn't. I don't know. I don't know if it just doesn't. It doesn't work as well for me as the other games. I like some of the other ones. I like a lot of the ones I like have dice going on in them. This one doesn't. The puzzle in this one, they all have puzzles. The puzzle of the meeples doesn't intrigue me as much, I guess. And it seems like there's a couple ways to score a ton of points that kind of. I don't want to say you get railroaded in doing those couple of things, but if you're not doing those couple of things,
you probably aren't going to.
Probably aren't going to score as many points. Sure. But I love it. I'll play it anytime. I enjoy it quite a bit. But that said, it's my least favorite of the 6 we own. And
Corlu, yeah. So there's Zolkin, Tawan Tinsuyu, Terracotta Army, Tekenu, Teletum, Tabanusi, and Teotihuacan.
And Tres Megistus.
Oh yeah, Tres Megistus. Tres Luces.
Tres Leches Megusta.
Megusta, that's right. I couldn't remember how we changed that.
Yeah.
Tres Megistus.
So we got rid of Zolkin and Tres. We just got rid
Tres
of
Megistus. I know.
This one might be on its way out, maybe.
Yeah, I kind of
maybe
like
on
it
its
as
way
much
out.
this time as I thought.
Because there's 5
too.
other T games we like more that we enjoy more.
Are they all board and dice except for Zolkin?
I think they are. Tabanusi.
I think so, right?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But no, Zolkin isn't. Is it?
You mean Teotihuacan?
Teotihuacan isn't. The version we have isn't.
All up.
They may be printing it now, but the version we have isn't. All the other ones are.
Okay. There you go.
All right. The next one coming out this year, I think it's coming out Essen, maybe. Barcelona.
What?
The T,
that doesn't begin with a T?
The T, not T game. Barcelona
is
the next one. Oh, is that board and dice? Okay. I thought it was theirs. I know I think the newer ones do have board and dice written on it. All right. So that was my number 8.
Do they pronounce B's as T's over wherever these guys are?
Barcelona.
That's my only defense for that. I don't know.
All right. 7. It's a game I've been wanting to try forever, and I loved it, but no one else loved it because I annihilated everyone.
What? That doesn't mean we didn't
at Modern Art.
Doesn't mean we hated it. What is this garbage?
I've been wanting to play Modern Art forever because I love auction games, and this is Auction Game, the auction game.
It was fun.
You have 5 or 6 different kinds of auctions you're doing throughout this game. You're basically auctioning off pieces of art, and then the ones that are sold the most become the most valuable, and over time they become more and more valuable. You do a certain number of rounds, and it's just collecting the most money. But yeah, I love the math puzzle of this because it's a whole risk, reward, profit thing, right? How much do I bid on this piece of art? Is it going to be worth 30? Is it going to be worth 40? Is it going to be worth 50? What if I bid 40 and it's only worth 20? Oh, I lost all this money. But what if I bid, how much do I bid? The whole risk thing. The minimum amount. After a few rounds, you know how much it's worth on the minimum, so you know what kind of a minimum bid is. But you want to make some profit because the whole point. If you bid what it's worth, then you're not making any money. So you got this whole math puzzle of how much do I bid and stuff like that. And I enjoy stuff like that.
Well, and it was neat too because whatever the replacements were for the first round kind of had a lot of bearing with what's going to happen the next round because by the end, like poor Tommy ended up with a whole bunch of the one that hadn't won anything yet. So there was really nothing to build on because it's like, we don't.
But
we're not gonna fight over that as much, right? Unless you have a good hand of it, like like all 5 of them or something where you can.
Well, that's what I did.
Turn them out.
I would drive the price by playing nothing but one color.
Yeah.
So. And
that's basically the only way you could do it. But if you end up late in the game with an off-color mix or something, that's going to be really hard to.
Then you just have to jump in on other people's auctions and get stuff.
And be aggressive with it. Yep. So it was kind of interesting. But that first place is going to mean a lot because that probably means that color is going to be pretty popular throughout the whole game and stuff. It was kind of cool. It was an interesting puzzly bit.
I enjoyed quite a bit.
Weird art.
I give this one an 8 as well. All right, let's move on to the hottest game in the world right now. Hottest game, literally the hottest game in the world right now.
Wow, spoilers.
Heat.
Vroom.
So I give this one an 8. I did not enjoy it as much as I thought I would, but I enjoyed it quite a bit. Mm-hmm. So let's put that out there. So Heat is a deck building racing game from Days of Wonder. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I think I'm going to like it more when we play with superpowers. So basically, it's a deck building game.
That's true.
You're basically playing cards to move your car around the track. You can switch gears. That tells you how many cards you're playing. You have to stop on corners, like all racing games. You have to slow down on corners, and you do a couple of laps. You can take heat to go faster or switch gears a lot and things like that. But it clogs your deck. There's heat. Heat's basically a dead card that clogs your deck. There's ways to get heat out of your deck. If you take the corners too fast, you crash and burn, and you turn into a Flamme Rouge. That's what she was.
I named my car Flambe Rouge.
You crashed in the same wall twice in a row.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It was amazing.
I don't know what you're talking about. I feel attacked.
But the base game, the basic game, not basic game, base game. The basic game version of this game has the superpower cards, the upgrade cards, improvement cards, whatever they call them, are very basic. But there's a whole deck like this thick full of different improvements you can put in the game. It comes with 4 maps, so there's a lot of replayability, different ways to play.
Yeah.
They have a campaign, kind of do a whole season of races and stuff like that.
That would be kind of fun to do, like a tournament style thing, right?
Yeah, it's a great game. And this has nothing but the potential to go up. This is based on the very basic, simplistic version of the game. I give it an 8. I think it could easily go up. And I'm the type of guy that would love to do a season. I don't know if I can get the people that the other to do a season, but I'd love to do it.
That'd be fun.
A season, because I assume you're going to build and improve your cars and things like that. And stuff like that.
Yeah.
You become more differentiated from other people and things like that. I'm assuming. I'm making assumptions here. But Heat, that's the hot game. I think Tommy looked it up. It's supposed to be back in stock next month, I want to say, in June.
Yeah.
So I'm looking to get it. I got my pre-order, my restock notifications all over the place, ready to go for
You're
this
all
one.
ready,
For this and another game that we'll talk about a little later.
Oh my gosh.
Two games out of all the ones we played are ones I went to buy, and this is one of the 2. So that says a lot.
Very exciting.
Right. Anything else other than?
I can't play that at the end of a long convention.
Apparently, she was like in the. We were talking to Joe.
It wasn't even complicated, and I'm just like, I'm gonna turn around this corner. I totally misunderstood how much heat you get when you screw up going around a corner. Right. So I'm like, pedal to the metal, baby, and I'm like, oh, I just put my entire deck of heat into mine. And she was one point she ran into the wall twice, and it reminded me of video games where you're messed up and you're just banging against the wall. That was me. I was the kid in the bumper cars that's like, I can't go backwards, just. It was good. It was good. No, it was fun. I still enjoyed the game. I was tired. I was way too tired for that. Was by far the hottest game at the convention. No, literally, it could not make it to the library to get checked back in because people would grab it to check it in and out again. We'll check this in for you and then go get it. It was. And what's funny is I actually saw it laying on the shelves Monday morning. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's actually there. I couldn't believe it. Yeah. All right. Let's move on to my number 5. If I can find it. Where is it? Where's my number 5? Oh, there it is. It's this one. You're asking me? Right. Glory to Rome! We finally played Glory to Rome. It was actually in the library. We've looked so many years and we never could find it. We finally found it in the library and we played it. The $400+ version of Glory to Rome. Wait, okay. Every time I hear this price has gone up. You started and you said it was $200. And you said it used to be $200. It's not that anymore. I went on eBay. Oh, did you? And you looked? There was 5 copies for sale. They ranged from $500 to $800. So. But you can get the crappy. Almost did a spit take. You can do the crappy clip art version of it and get it cheaper, or you can go to Europe and get the crappy European version that's in another language for cheaper. I'll do that. All right. Anyway, Glory to Rome. We finally played it.
I knew Rebecca would love it. I think she enjoyed it quite a bit. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought it would. I mean, it's my
cool.
5th favorite game of the ones I played. It is really good. It is a really solid engine building. Just card. You have a deck of cards. You're playing cards, but it has kind of almost multi-use cards. I think they have 3 different purposes.
Right.
It's a little attacky. You can take a lot of the attacky cards out. But it's just a fun little engine building point salad game.
I am actually really bummed that they can't sort their nonsense so that they can.
It will never ever be reprinted ever. But apparently the way people go now is they print their own.
There you go.
Apparently they got files and designs and tells you exactly where to go and where to order the cards and how to print it yourself.
Dude, summer project.
That's your summer project. I'm not gonna play that summer project. Yeah, and like Austin said in the chat, Matanai is kind of Glory to Rome-ish, but it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
It's not the same. But yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was really good. It's not worth the hundreds of dollars. I'm gonna keep an eye out. I'm watching the BGG market to see if someone swings in and does one for a reasonable price. I might grab it up. And I'm kind of looking into the how to do my own, but I have no interest. What someone said, the cheap way to do it, and if you don't care about aesthetics, is you can literally go to get print and play file, print it on regular paper, cut out the cards, get a sleeve, put a playing card in the sleeve, and then put the paper in front of the playing card.
Sold.
And for the boards, you just go and do heavy cardstock at Kinko's and print the boards out. So,
dude,
I might go
get
that
the files.
I might go that route. But you can go.
There's
places where people show you where you can go and print playing card. You can take playing cards and print your own stuff on it. So you print all the Glory to Rome cards on playing cards and stuff like that.
I would say find some cool playing cards that I really like.
I feel kind of bad. I would feel kind of bad doing that, but the designers have no interest in having it reprinted and no interest in pursuing it.
Oh yeah, I would never do that otherwise. But
all right, Glory to Rome, it's a good one. So if you're at a friendly local convention or something like that, I would check it out if you like card games. It's good. A little complicated, a little bit hard to teach, but not too bad.
Cards. There you go. Tater's got it.
All right, let's move on. My number 4. Oh, this is one that we played before the convention. We finally got the Leaders expansion played for Lost Ruins of Arnak. So, Lost Ruins of Arnak, we've hit the 9s now. Welcome to the 9s. I give us a 9 out of 10. I love Lost Ruins of Arnak. And Leaders makes it even better.
It really did.
I enjoyed it quite a bit. I don't think we'll ever play without Leaders anymore.
We will not.
I think even if, well, maybe if it's someone, no. I'd never play this one.
I was like, no.
So it gives you asymmetrical powers. It makes you kind of play the game a little bit differently. Obviously, it's you have your own leader guy that does something. They're very different. Like Rebecca's was really good with artifacts. She had like own artifact market and had some weird stuff going on. I had this little bird that flew around and got stuff for me. I don't know what that's all about.
Yeah, that was funky, but it worked.
So
it works well.
But yeah, I like Lost Ruins and the Leaders expansion. I wouldn't say it's essential, but it's pretty darn close to
right.
Essential. But the game's great without the powers. You don't need the Leaders expansion, I don't think. But
no, I mean it's
if you're one of those people that like to feel different than everyone else, doing something a little different than everyone else,
then the expansion's
awesome, really good. But I like it. I'm not gonna talk about Lost Ruins too much. It's been talked about ad nauseum.
Look at you.
Ad nauseum. Anyway, Lost Ruins. That's my 4th favorite of the games we played.
4th.
But since we last saw it. Our number 3 is another game that we played before the convention. We finally got Darwin's Journey to the table.
We did.
And I enjoyed this one a lot. I like this one a lot. This is a good one. If you like heavy Euros with workers with different powers, this is a good one. Basically, you're upgrading your workers. You have 4 different workers, and they can start really basic, and you can give them kind of different colors. So basically, when you go to a spot, you need like 2 red and a green worker. And basically, you have a worker and you're putting these little ink blots next to them and they give them different colors. And they need the right color combination to go to certain spots on the board. And the basic spots are very simple, but the more advanced spots and the aim to give you a little bit more need different combos of color. So you're kind of upgrading those workers in such a way that you can do certain things, be better at certain things. You can't be great at everything. So you're like, I'm going to be really good at these 2 actions, so I'm going to design workers that do really well with those actions or whatever. Meanwhile, you're moving on this map. You're moving on, basically, it's almost like you're moving on tracks in a way. You're moving on this map, getting all these bonuses and points and things like that. It's a point salad game. I loved it. I thought it was I give it a 9. I'm looking forward to playing it again. We got a couple expansions in the box.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And there's also, if I recall correctly, there's different scenarios that you can play that kind of trick the game up a little bit as well. So
okay.
I like it. It's a cool one. I thought I'd like it when I kickstarted it, and I was right. I enjoyed this one a lot.
Yep.
It's pretty heavy. It's a beefy little game, though.
It is a beefy little game.
It's a beefy little game.
But it does have a lot of interesting little touches and things to it. So it's a good one.
Starter's journey. All right.
He's a journeying.
Let's move on to my number 2. These were neck and neck. I had to think about which one I liked the best.
Really?
I really had to. I commiserated on which one I liked the best. And coming in at a 9, these are both 9s as well, is in second place. Horseless Carriage. Second place. Look at my list.
I can't read those chicken scratches, and they're not in order anyway.
Horseless Carriage. We finally got Horseless Carriage played. This is the new Splotter. Welcome to my favorite Splotter, Horseless Carriage. You've arrived.
Yeah, like that was.
I thought Rebecca would despise this game, and she
I really thought I was going to hate that game.
I thought she would too. And at first, you were kind of painting yourself in the corner early in the game. I thought you were going to hate it, and then you came out guns blazing at the end and caught up. Horseless Carriage, it's a great game. If you like Splotter games, this is a good one. It is really good.
Yeah, I think it is. I even like it better than Food Chain Magnate, which is kind of feeling almost traitorous for me to say because I like that one.
I got 3 or 4 Splotters in my top 100, and
good.
This is my new favorite. But it's so you're a auto manufacturer in the early 1900s in America, and you're producing vehicles. You're taking those vehicles and you're selling them to the public. It has a whole supply and demand. Basically, people want brakes, or they want steering wheels, or they want different kinds. They want safety, reliability. Maybe they want speed. They want these different things. And this, as time goes by, what they want changes. So you're designing your cars in such a way to make them appealing to the people. There's a whole supply and demand, almost like a I can't remember what those charts are called, but the 4-quadrant charts. So basically, you have supply and demand, and you have one thing they want on one axis, and the other thing they want on this axis, and they want a lot of both. They're way up here. So these consumers want the amazing, super wonderful cars. And these consumers down here in the corner.
But those chumps only pay $6.
They say in the rules that's
$6.
They said that there's so much inflation during this time they could not put a relative price.
I mean,
so they just picked a number. Because literally there was so during this time inflation was all over the map. So 1 month a car might cost $100, next month it's $700, the next month it's $200.
I can't imagine. I feel like it's that way now.
Yeah, I can imagine
back then,
the economy going wacky like that. But anyway, so it's
$1 million.
It sounds crazy complicated, and it is crazy complicated.
It is,
but it's a Splotter game, and if you like Splotter, you should try this one. This is really really
this
good.
This was a very pleasant surprise. I really
and the crux is that the right word?
The heart of it?
The meat of the game is you have almost a Tetris style building of your
gosh, I should hate
so you
this
have
game.
you have your different. I imagine like an auto manufacturer. You have these different lines that are coming in to build the car. You're building all these different lines to get the different features on your car, and you have dealerships, and you have marketing, and you have research and development and planning, and all this stuff going on. It's a Splotter game. It's super complicated, super heavy, but it was well worth the learn of it, and well worth the time it took to play it.
My only concern is that we played this as the basic game where there was one type of car, and it melted my brain. There's 3 types of cars.
You don't have to ever play that version.
I don't know that we could. I'm like, how did they play test this? This was insane.
That's why you pay so much for these games. The amount of playtesting and development that goes in these games is off the charts.
Super nerdy brain types.
I loved it.
It was really good, but
it.
Just thinking about trying to do multiple types of cars with the puzzly thing.
Commiserate? Yeah, you're right.
Commiserate. Means with, together with.
Oh, so what is it? Cooperate? Cooperate.
No, that's with other people too.
All right, and my game of the convention, the game of the convention for me, the game of the convention was
the game.
Revive.
Wow, you really liked that.
I stunk so bad at this game. I got annihilated.
You did.
And still, I love this game.
Wow.
It is
This
worth
was another
the hype.
surprise.
This
is another surprise.
Really, really agonized. That's a good word. I really like Revive. It is so much fun. I mean, I was engaged. I was engaged on other people's turns. I was wondering what people were going to do. I like this game a lot. It is on high alert on like every online game seller.
Oh my gosh. No, you were, because I think about 40 times, like at least once a little round, you were like, I like this game. I like this game.
Usually jokingly, I say, I hate this game. I hate this game.
No, he was like, I like this game.
I like this game. I like this game.
Yeah,
it has multi-use cards. It has engine building. It has going up tracks. It has a map where it's almost area control-ish. Well, not basically you're trying to snipe areas before other people die. Yeah. All these upgrades and engine building and deck building. It just has the kitchen sink and it works in an amazing way. This one, I think, once I play again and I actually feel like I'm accomplishing more, because I did not do very well at this game at all. I got destroyed. I think it could reach that 10 level, that the rarefied air of a 10 for me, because I only have like, of all the games I've played a couple thousand games. I have like 20 10s. So there's not a lot. I mean, it's a 1% thing. I think it would be 10%, but it's more, for me, it's more like a 1% to be a 10.
Okay.
It has the chance to get there. It's so good.
I can see that. Okay, now Coralie, now you completely sidetracked me.
What?
Coralie says that the boards look like butts instead of brains. I
didn't even notice that.
I didn't either, and usually I totally, after hanging out with high schoolers.
I wonder if it shows it's got that brown hole right in the center of the player board where you put your energy.
Oh, I didn't think about it that way. Thanks, Coralie.
Rebecca, Josh was winning though. We played 4 players. Tommy only played like the first few rounds. Tommy's, I guess, brother-in-law played with us. Josh was ahead the whole game because he had a during the game points engine going. So he's gaining all these points during the game, but his engine scoring was not so good. And you blasted past all of us.
Oh, that's right. I did have good end.
Your end-game scoring was off the charts, and I didn't either well. I did not score many points during the game, and I did not score many points during the game.
You were distracted by how much awesome
I was just having fun. I was like,
this
oh
game.
man.
And then he's like, oh, I should strategize, but I like
this game.
And
the multi-use cards was just so agonizing in a great way. It's like, oh gosh, I need these resources. Oh my gosh, this action's so good.
Right.
And I look at the next card, it's like, oh, I need these resources.
Right.
I need this action. What do I do? I mean, that's how the whole game was that.
That's so true.
It was good. True. If you like Euro games, it's worth the hype. If you like going up on tracks and multi-use cards and deck building, it's good. Game of the convention. Close though. Horseless Carriage was close, but they're two completely different animals. One is a straight up Euro game. The other one's a heavy splatter game of Doom. So it's completely different animals. So.
That's funny. All right, so there's games that I played that you did.
Yes, you had 3 games that you played that I did not.
Oh.
The first one up is Turing Machine.
Yeah, that's right. I did. I've been wanting to play this for a while because I kept hearing random things about it and whatnot, and I like this.
I wanted to try to sneak this one in, but just didn't find time for it.
It's one of those things, though. I think you might. I don't know. I'm curious to see what you're going to think about it. This might be something you'd be more interested in playing as an app. I don't know, but I really liked. It's a logic puzzle game, and you have little cards, and you put them together, and then you kind of reminds me of like when as a kid you'd have those games. You know, that red film. Yeah. Where you could read the code kind of thing. It reminded me of putting together a little puzzle thing and then reading to see if I got it right, on the red film and being able to read that. And, but it had so you'd have these, it's a number combo. You're trying to look up this number combo, and then it's got logic puzzle clues and stuff. And basically you ask the computer, you plug it in, and it'll give you just a check or an X. And so you have to kind of understand the like yes, no of this, right? Mm-hmm. And you know how I've been lately. I've been on this puzzle kick, and so I really got into it. We played a real simple puzzle. We didn't do any super complicated ones, just introducing how the game works and everything. But I was already hooked. I was like, this is really neat. I like the fact that you can ramp up the levels and do this. But you might be more interested in doing it as like an app or like online. I don't know. I don't know
if I like it. I want to try it once just to see if I like it or not.
That's it. That's the game, though. It's the puzzle. And I don't know if, I
don't know. I like logic puzzles.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
But I did enjoy that.
All right. Next one up you played that I did not was Kodama Duo.
Yeah, so eons ago I've played Kodama. Gosh, forever ago. But got to play Kodama Duo, and it's very similar from what I remember, because again, it's kind of fuzzy because it's been years. But you're taking the cards and you're building them, and you kind of do weird things with it to make the tree branch continuous, and it's got different little items on there, like a little firefly or a star in the sky or whatever, and then you like try to match up as many, like make combos out of it as much as you can. Really light little game, kind of chill. It's okay. I'm not super crazy about it or anything, but I know a lot of people really like, because it's a little different way to mess with cards. Usually you have to line up your cards just so and make a, organize them in their nice neat rows and stuff. And this one you're doing weird things with the cards, making trees branch out and do stuff, and the branches can't touch, and there's a few little rules. But then you have this weird twisty gnarly tree that's grown by the time you're done with the game. So
not my game.
No, it's not your kind of shtick at all. It's fun for something different.
Especially when Tommy said you kind of got to match him up ish.
Yeah, it's not like it's perfect or anything. Yeah,
I'm like, nope, no, thank you. And last but not least, you guys knocked out. Oh, not Decorum. Oh,
I was like,
my bad.
What are you pushing?
I actually have, it's not one we own.
Oh, yes. This was fun. We played Draftosaurus again, and it was just the base game. I love this game. I forgot how much fun I have with it. We have.
We have an expansion.
There's 2 expansions. There's the Aerial Show and Marina. That's what they're called. And they add little extra boards and stuff. But the base game still is very fun, and it makes a sweet, like pretty engaging but quick game. And it's so cute. It's got very brightly covered dino meeples, and they're all in a bag, and you pull them out, and then you draft them. You take a couple and
Draftosaurus.
Yeah, exactly. And you put them on your little board and trying to maximize the points that you can get. And then you have to pass what you have though to the next player, and it goes in a cycle. So you don't know what you're going to get from round to round, because you're supposed to try to kind of keep them hidden in your hand as you're doing that. And the board's fun. It's got different little regions. One little section might be like you have to do 2 different kinds of dinosaurs, but they can't be the same ones touching. So it's like every other. Or this little section takes all of the same kind of dinosaur. Or this one has to be paired up with a mate or something on, like, I think we played the winter one on either side of the bridge, so whatever kind you have on this side, it has to have a match on the other side and stuff to get points, and just little cutesy things like that. And it's simple, sweet, fun. This one's one of those popcorn games for me. I could keep playing this for a while. I love it. I'd be like, let's throw them in the bag and start over. It's great. Super fast. It's like a 15-minute game.
There you go. That is all the games we played.
That's a lot of games.
Yep.
It was awesome.
Yep. We got in more games than we normally
Felt like
get in.
Yeah, I know. I was like, this is long overdue. I was like, it's finally get to play some games.
We actually got a little break on Saturday. You went out and did.
Oh yeah.
And I got to take a nap and chill for a little bit.
Yeah, well, and watch the Stars lose.
Watch the Dallas Stars lose.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yep. But no, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Great way to kick off the summer.
All right. So that's it for tonight, folks. 1 week from tonight, our annual best games of the year revisited. Because we played a bunch of the 2022ers.
That's gonna be hard, you guys.
We played some of the 2022 games at BGG, but I think it's time to revisit our best games of 2022. So we basically we played several of them multiple times. We played some new ones. We're gonna redo our list. The new and improved best games of 2022 next week.
That's your homework too. You got to go through and look at all your 2022 games, rank them, or make a list of which ones you want to try. Because not just us, but the chat, we're going to be afire with all sorts of interesting info and games galore. It's going to be glorious.
I'm always, I intentionally don't look at my lists from the prior year.
When you build it?
When I build it. We do it in like December, end of December, first part of January. Yeah. I don't look at that list. I build my list. We build our list, and then I pull in our list from last year, and I'm always surprised
where things
have shipped. There's usually a lot in common. but there's a lot of shifting.
Yeah, because there's some that are like, wow, this is really good, and it came out right off the bat. But there's some heavy hitters that always come later on in the year. We haven't even played yet, or something, or we got to play the game again, like really good. Or it's interesting to see the dynamics. So yeah, this is the top games of 2022 that we like. Period.
It's all of them. So basically, we take and redo our list from best game of the year, best games of 2022 for us.
Yeah.
So it's all of the ones we played, not just the ones we played since we made our list. It's the new and improved, redone list of our best games of 2022.
I'm so excited.
All right, that's it, folks. We'll see you next time. Until then,
let's hit the lobby.
We'll be in the lobby. Maybe. We in the lobby?
I hope so.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Click subscribe to join our wonderful viewer community.
Want to be notified when we upload a new video or go live? Click on the little bell below.